Fortenbaugh, Erin, Dolan, Tyler Fulghum here. What a night to watch. Maybe not gamble on sports, because certainly not for the faint of heart with the way those games shifted at the end. But Erin, so far in these playoffs, home not where the heart is, but where the money's been, right?
Yeah, I mean, home teams, that trend we talked about yesterday, still applies. I mean, home teams 11-0 straight up, 8-3 against the spread this postseason. It's the fourth time in NBA history that home teams have started 11-0 or better in a postseason, and first time since 2004.
All right, so today's Tuesday, but Thursday begins a tradition unlike any other. While the NFL draft is taking place, do not sleep on the fact that we have three teams down 0-2 in their respective series coming home for Game 3. What does it mean? It's time to consider making first-half bets on those home teams. Bookmakers have caught on to this trend in recent years. Look at that Lakers game. They're a dog for the full game, but a favorite for the first half. Ooh. Incredible scenario.
I'm curious then, of those three games on Thursday, how many of them will you be betting on the team down 0-2 at home to cover in the first half?
Sixers for sure. Okay. That price is reasonable. They're a 4.5-point favorite for the game. They're about -2.5 for the first half. The reason we look to this is that teams down 0-2, it's a desperation play in Game 3. You're coming home. You have the crowd pop to use some WWE parlance. Role players play better at home than they do on the road, which means Knicks role players might take a step back from what we've seen. First 24 minutes. That's the bet you want to make. Now, the bookmakers have caught on in the instance of the Lakers. Lakers are a 1.5-point dog for the full game, but they're a 1.5-point favorite for the first half. That's the book showing you they understand that you're coming and that you're going to be making this play. Similar situation with Orlando. I think Philly would be the team to play.
I like it. I like Philly in the first half, -2.5. How could you not take that? Philly is going to be absolutely rocking. And it's not like they're losing by a ton of points. They lost by an average of 5 points the past two games. So you'd think, okay, well, now this series is going back home. Maybe you get a little bit of that crowd noise, get excited. It's also hard to just beat a team 3 straight times, let alone in the city of Philadelphia. So the Sixers is one that I definitely like. But again, it's a case-by-case basis. You could also look at the first quarter as well for teams that just want to come out with some type of fight.
You got to score points to be able to cover one of these. Orlando doesn't really score points, so I've kind of just dismissed them.
But the fact that they're even favored -1.5 is ridiculous.
It's the desperation play.
The Lakers one is the most interesting. Is that one the hardest to handicap for the first half only?
What worries me?
I liked it yesterday. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you
covered both first half.
You like?
You covered both first half.
Nail that. I'm glad we got to that right off the top of the show.
I was going to do it right at the top, but I didn't want to stump you.
One of the things to worry about is the Lakers were smart after Game 2, complaining about the officiating. We know that the networks and the league want to see as much as LeBron as possible. So I would expect a favorable whistle. If you like Denver, just be cautious in Game 3.
They're going to win one of these games, I think, at home.
They play
whether
well.
It's Game 3 or
running
Game 4.
into a buzzsaw.
We will get to those series again. Denver, a heavy favorite to win the series over LA, now up 2-0. The Lakers are +900 to come back, winning 4 of the next 5. Nuggets -500 to cover the 1.5 games on the series spread. We're at -220 for the series to end in less than 5.5 games at ESPN BET. So very little belief, Erin, Joe, in LeBron and the Lakers now down 2-0. Joe, how are you approaching then the rest of the series?
There's not a whole lot to change here. I played the -2.5 games before the series started. I'm fortunate, given the way the first 2 games have gone. I thought it would be a little bit easier. Come on, Denver, pick it up a little bit, right? Some style points would be nice. But ultimately, not a whole lot. I don't believe the Lakers are coming back. I do think the Lakers will grab one in LA. They've been playing feisty basketball, and I think they're going to have the officials on their side. To play this series to end in exactly 5 games is +145. I think that might be interesting. Seems like you might like that pick as well.
I put my hands up like this because you're about to say the same exact thing.
I'm sure you have better reasoning, though, because I'm just sitting here kind of firing off from the hip.
Do the hands again. It was.
You said it, and then I went like this, and I was like, I'm about to say the same exact thing. Just cut me out of it.
Go ahead, please.
No, I just think they win one at home. That's all.
It would just be a matter of how you go about it. Jokic is +305 to win Finals MVP. That's actually up from 3-1 as well. I'd be looking to make that bet, too, because I think that's just going to continue to deteriorate.
I guess then just for the purpose of making this a more robust conversation, if you are a Lakers fan, is there a belief that the fact that they had double-digit leads and blew them against Denver and Denver is a reason for optimism, or is that an insurmountable missed opportunity?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised the Nuggets won the first 2 games. You saw the series price in comparison to, let's say, the Sixers and the Nuggets, how 2 and 7 seeds, how different it was. But you can't really bet the Denver Nuggets at this point. You have to bet game per game in this series or bet the exact number of games, which I do believe is going to be 5. But you can't lay the big points with the Nuggets. You also can't then bet the series price at -2.5 at this point because it's so juicy. So there's only a limited ways you can bet it.
Yeah. Well said. I would just say that. I would say
we got nothing else for you.
There we go. All right, then. We shall advance. Let's go to the Eastern Conference because there is no shortage of drama there either. The Knicks, as we showed you at the top of the show, trailed 5 points, 47 seconds left, but made 2 triples down the stretch, one by Jalen Brunson, the other by Dante DiVincenzo. Some hijinks by the Philadelphia defense and rebounding unit led to those opportunities. Joel Embiid, some strong words for where his team is at right now.
Unacceptable. Tyrese got fouled, a couple times. We just had the same thing happen against Miami with Tyler Hero. That's just unacceptable to, put us in that situation. That's unacceptable to lose a game like this, especially in the playoffs. We're good. We're going to win this series. We're going to win this. We know what we got to fix. We did a better job today, so we're going to fix it. But we're the better team, and we're going to keep fighting.
All right, Joel, if you'd like to, you can't, but if you'd like to, Sixers are plus 340 to come back and win the next 4 of 5. Knicks minus 450 favorites. What I find interesting, the spread at ESPN BET for the series is 2.5 games. The Knicks are minus 105 to cover that. The Sixers plus 2.5 is a slight minus 125 favorite. So different pricing for the 2 series we're discussing here. Erin, Embiid says the Sixers are going to come back. Do you agree?
To an extent, they're going to win some games, but actually going to win the series, not so sure. So looking at the series price of plus 2.5, I think you could bet that. Also, over 5.5 games. Wasn't that one of your favorite bets? You talked about that before the series?
Yeah, this has war written all over it.
Exactly. So I think this goes to 6 to 7 games, but they have they're not getting blown out by the Knicks. They're losing by an average of 5 points. They're right there, but like this type of stuff in the final, however many 40 seconds, can't be happening. Maxey has to be good. Joel Embiid has to be good. Tobias Harris, maybe this guy could do something for the amount we pay him, but we're going to be right there. We're going to get some games, but I'm not sure if we're going to win the series.
Over 5.5, I'm surprised the juice is where it's at. I think that's a mistake. I don't think Philadelphia's going to roll over and die when they're at home. They played, again, we watch these teams go on the road. They lose competitive games, and then we lose all confidence in them. They're road games. These are road games. You're underdogs. You're not supposed to play well here. The Lakers looked good. They just couldn't get by the best team in the league. The Sixers looked good. They just couldn't close it out. Over 5.5 is a play. Sixers plus 2.5.
At minus 120? What's going on with that?
That's another play right there because I think what happens is once they win game 3, and I believe they'll win game 3, that's going to swing everything. Now everyone's going to be talking about here come the Sixers. Sixers going to come back. If you can win game 4, then you have the pivotal game 5. Oh. I think those are the 2 bets you want to make. The Knicks have been good. They've been very good, but they're not all-world elite. Brunson is struggling, and the role players are going to have a problem in Philadelphia. This thing, no one's going to be surprised if this series is 2-2 heading to Game 5.
I'm trying to sell optimism. That's what I was doing in the Lakers-Nuggets series, and I'll try and do it here, though there is another side of it. Jalen Brunson's been pretty inefficient, and he's the guy for the Knicks. Now, perhaps the Knicks fans would say, hey, he's been so bad, and we're already up 2-0. He's going to positively regress, and that's bad news for the Sixers. If you're a Sixer fan, you can say, he's struggled against us all year long, not just in this series, and that could be something we can latch onto and really hammer as this series returns home.
I really hate that stat, 0-14 all time when trailing 2-0 in the playoffs.
Let's be clear, though. Woo! They're not coming back to win this series.
Yes, I agree with that,
closers. Their biggest problem is they cannot close out anything. They can't close out games. They can't close out series. Game 7 against the Hawks. Game 7 against the Raptors. Up 3-2 in the series against Boston last year. This team can't close. You don't bet them to win the series. You just bet them to make it interesting, win game 3, first half game 3, but you can't get on them. What in their DNA would make you think they're going to come back and win this against a team that's nothing but culture tough?
And also, Joel said that with his head down. I needed a little bit more power there. And also, after the first round comes the second round, which is where we die. So
which is where it usually
historically.
Yeah, there was not a lot of conviction with the body language from Embiid there. But
yeah, the head
what else
down.
Is he supposed to say?
What do you want him to do?
Yeah, he can't say. He can't say
huge, and he's got a bum wheel.
100%.
Batum can't get a rebound. Harris can't get the rebound. Lowry's been in the league 100 years. Why did he rush to take the ball? These are all Bush League mistakes that they made that compounded to a loss at the end of the game. That game was very winnable, but that's what the Sixers do in the playoffs. It's why you never bet them to win the championship. You don't bet them to win the East. You bet them to win a game here and there, maybe a series.
I wanna try to post at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 on the ESPN.